Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. So in today's lesson, we are going to be discussing the topic of argumentative theses. So when you're writing an argumentative paper, it is very important that you have an argumentative thesis statement. This is what is going to lay down the foundation for what you are going to write for the rest of the paper. Without your argumentative thesis, your paper is nothing. So what an argumentative thesis is, it is your final sentence of your essay, and what it does is it lays out your argument. So for instance, when you are writing a paper, you need to have your statement that you're for, and you need to write because, and then you will state why you're for it. So for example, if you're writing an essay about why you think Princess and the Frog is not a good movie for kids, you could say, Princess and the Frog is not a good movie for children because it contains the idea of voodoo. So this is arguable. And it is arguable because it takes a topic that some people may be against in voodoo, but some people may be for it. So this gives you a great foundation to write your argumentative paper because you can support why you think it's bad from a religious standpoint. If you're writing it as a Christian, you could say, well, I don't think this is a good movie for kids because I don't want my kids being entertained by voodoo and thinking that it's a good thing. When you could argue against it and say that voodoo is not bad for kids to be entertained by because in this movie it's shown as a bad thing and the villain is the one doing the voodoo. So it can go both ways, but that's the point. You want your argumentative thesis to be professional and you want it to be straight to the point. Now, you don't want your thesis statement to be too broad and hard to understand what your point is. For example, you don't want your thesis statement to be like, Princess and the Frog is not a good movie for kids because I don't like it. That gives your audience nothing. Like, okay, you don't like the movie, but why? There's no why. And you have to have that why after because. And it has to be, it has to be able to be understood. You can't just say, because I don't like it. Like, that doesn't make sense. You have to explain why you don't like it. You need to be like, it's not a good movie for kids because it contains voodoo. Like, okay, there, you have your foundation. Now you're able to write. If you don't have that good foundation, you're gonna go off writing all kinds of random stuff and nobody's gonna understand where your center focus is. They have to be able to see what you're focusing on. And your audience has to be able to take a side, whether they're supporting you or they think that you're wrong. Your audience has to be able to take a side from your paper. So when you're doing this, you also need to make sure that your thesis statement is credible. So you need, when you're writing your paper, you should be able to support it with facts. And when you support it with facts, you need to make sure that they're from sources such as EBSCO or Google Scholar or things like that are credible and people know that the information that you're getting from them is true and is credible and it is written by people that are credible writers. You don't want to go on Google and just pick some random blog from Joe Schmo that works at McDonald's because this guy might not even graduated high school. Like, you don't know who he is. His paper isn't it isn't credited. You don't know who he is, so you want to make sure when you're supporting your argument in the thesis statement that you're supporting it with credible sources. Well, thank you for joining me today, class, and I can't wait to share more discussions with you. Have a great day.